Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Hiya Toys Predators Invisible Berserker and Unmasked Berserker, which are almost the same figure, just different heads, and obviously one is clear. So we're going to do them all at the same, or both at the same time, and I'll give you all the details you need to know so you can decide if you want to buy them. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 4 3/4 inches tall, which makes him pretty close to 12 1/4 centimeters, right around there. And these guys are tiny, but they are packed with detail. They look very, very nice. All right, before we get into the rest of it though, let's go ahead and do a quick question of the day. Which Predator-based movie or movie with Predators in it is your favorite? I know most of you are going to probably say the original Predator movie. I happen to like the Predator designs in the first AVP movie, even though it's not a great movie. And I like the Predators fighting the Xenos. So I'm going to go with AVP, and you guys can get mad at me in the comment section below if you want. Alright, so these guys are essentially the same figure, just one is transparent. We do obviously have the unmasked head for the painted version. And then we have the masked head for the transparent version. So that's that. We're going to talk about the transparent version real quick so that we can use the painted one for the rest of the review. It is done in PVC, so it shouldn't be too fragile. I think most of the joints should be okay because they're mostly PVC other than the pins and things, and that should work out without being too brittle. As you can see though, he's quite yellow already, and that's just the way he came in the package, so I would not be surprised if he continued to get more and more yellow. So that is a bit of a bummer. Otherwise it looks fine, and I don't think it's going to be too brittle, but it is fairly yellow, and that's a big bummer, so that's not great. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this guy because we can see the sculpt a little bit better, and we can see the paint. As usual, the sculpt is really good for this scale. It has all the details you would expect. Very nicely done. The paints on this guy are awesome, except for the eyes again. I do think they need more shading. Let me grab the package, actually, because it shows you very nicely how it's supposed to look. Now I know that there's heavy shadowing on there, but a little bit of shading would go a long way with these guys, or at least a wash or something. It's a very, like, there is shading throughout some parts, but then not around the eyes or the mouth. And I think that would help a lot. But they still are really well done regardless. You can see the details on the legs, all those spots in the chest marks. It's basically everything. It looks really good for the scale, other than the eyes could look a little bit better. So I guess for the painted one, I'll go 8 out of 10, and for this one I'm only going to do a 7 because it's too yellow, but they do look really good for the scale otherwise. Alright, as far as accessories go, they do have the same other than one being transparent set. So you do get the skull and spinal column, and you get the fist hand and gripping hand in addition to the 2 open hands that come on them in the package. And then of course you get the little display stand with the clips to hold them together. Not a wide array of accessories, it's good enough. I'll go 7 out of 10. Alright, so let's go ahead and use this one for the articulation just so it's easier to see. The clear one's a little bit difficult, not surprisingly. You do get a ball peg up here for the gun, so that can move around. It does lean a fair bit, but it tends to pop out. So be cautious. It doesn't seem like it's going to break. It just tends to pop out when you lean it. So that's fine. I mean, it's tiny, so you'll be able to finagle it and get it to where you want it. And if it pops out, just pop it back in. That's what... Okay, the head is on a ball peg, and it moves around fairly well. I think there's no problem there. I like that. That collar piece is not connected to the head, it's just moving with it right now because it's a soft rubber piece, but you get plenty of range on the head, so I like that. For the shoulders, raise them up better than horizontal, that's fine. You do get your full rotation. Of course, you're going to have trouble with the shoulder pads in the way, but you do get that. No bicep swivel on this guy. You get a single jointed elbow, which gives you just better than 90 degrees, but that's where you're going to get your bicep swivel also. And I don't have any stuck joints on this guy so far. Anyway, it's been pretty pleasant to handle. That's a good thing. For the wrist, it's just a little ball peg. Not much to do there. That's not surprising. We do get a ball peg in the torso and the lower torso, and it moves around pretty well. I mean, that's as much as I would expect to get out of a figure at this size, and they did a really good job with that. And the painting does continue all the way up until you get to the very top, which I'm not going to complain about. That looks pretty darn good. Skirt is a soft piece. Let's see how the hips work. They're fairly stiff hips. They go out a little bit better than 40. Well, I'd say it's about 45 degrees. That's probably fine. They are on just ball pegs. And going forward, not all the way up, but it'll do. That'll be good enough for most posing, I think. You do get a thigh swivel in there. It's not going to give you a ton of range, but it is there. Double jointed knees. Could be a little bit tighter, but they're not loose, and that works nicely. No problems there. Now for the ankles, we are fairly limited in that we just have a swivel on these boots. There's no ankle articulation. That being said, they do have nice flat feet and they tend to stand pretty well, but that is going to limit posability because without ankle articulation, none of the rest of the leg articulation is going to look right or be useful, so that's a bit of a bummer. But the rest of the figure is pretty darn good. For the scale, I think I'm very happy with it. The ankles do kill lower waist, or from the waist down. Doesn't matter how well the hips and knees move if the feet are going to be stuck in a neutral pose. So I'm going to only give it a 7 out of 10 for articulation. But all in all, I'd say these are a nice set of, this is a nice set, like it's not actually a set, but if you buy them both, it'd be like buying a set. A nice pair of figures, a nice couple of figures that you could pair together if you wanted to, is what I'm trying to say. I like them, and if you're into Predators and you're into this scale, I'm going to recommend them. This one, definitely be aware of the yellowing. There's just nothing you can really do about that. It tends to be that the softer the PVC is, the less brittle it is, but the more prone to yellowing it is. That tends to be the case, so not much they could really do about that. But it's a good couple of figures. So I'm going to give them an overall rating of, this one gets an 8, this one gets a 6. I would give it a 7, but the yellowing is there, and I know it's kind of unavoidable, but it is still a thing. If you have to buy it, you have to consider that it doesn't look clear, it looks, or invisible, it looks yellow. So consider that, but they are still strong, and you can make your own decisions. I've given you the information, I've given you a rating, and now you can decide for yourself what you want to do. So there they are, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give them a thumbs up. Give them a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. And if you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and you can let me know in the comment section below why. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.